Hey everyone, welcome back to Room 237, and I haven't done too many of these, but a friend of mine over at HorrorMetal did a tag video, and he left it open for anyone that wanted to do it. And it is the metal tag. There's, would have been nice if I wrote down who the video came from. I forgot, sorry. Go to HorrorMetal, watch his a metal tag video, then you'll know the channel he got it from. He highly recommended the channel also, so I trust his word, so check out that channel as well. But anyway, my favorite genre of music is metal. Has been for years and years. Growing up through school, I liked horror, but film or in comics weren't really my main interest. It was music. And even mostly through then, it was not metal. It was classic rock. That's actually what I grew up with. But some of those bands are considered metal, and it was a gradual thing. So anyway, there were 10 questions. So question number 1, how old were you when you were introduced to metal? Well, even the most classic of metal bands like Black Sabbath and, I think even Led Zeppelin on some level could be considered it. But even Ozzy, I've known about them my whole life. I didn't really start listening to music till I was about 12. And even then, it was bands like AC/DC was like my first favorite band. I know they're not metal, but always loved Black Sabbath. So, but when I was 13, I discovered Iron Maiden. And that was the first metal band I fell in love with. I was obsessed with Iron Maiden between the ages of like 13 and 14, like trying to draw Eddie, the shirts, having the CDs, listening to them constantly, any kind of DVD I could find. So I guess I really got into at least a metal band when I was 13. First metal concert? Well, I'd been to a number of concerts before, but my first metal concert, and I know people are going to get pissed because they don't consider core to be metal. I will admit it's not true metal, but it's a form of metal. I think I was 16. I went with my brother and a couple friends to, it was a Job for a Cowboy show. There's a Genesis was out, but everyone still listened to Doom, so, but it was Job for a Cowboy, All Shall Perish, and Annotations of an Autopsy. With All Shall Perish, Awaken the Dreamers had just come out, and Annotations of an Autopsy, who I still really like, their first full-length album, Before the Throne of Infection, was out. The best metal concert, I have to say Iron Maiden, which I saw last August. That has been my number one a bucket list thing since I was 13. Number one band I've always wanted to see live. And my brother got me tickets for my 27th birthday, and we went last August. It was an experience. It was the Legacy of the Beast tour, so they played all their big songs. It was a great show. It was outside. During the encore, there was actually a shooting star. There was actually 2. And then when they ended it, when the lights came on, the house music came on, and they waved goodbye to everyone, I forgot that they did this at every show, but it was Look on the Bright Side of Life by Monty Python, which Monty Python is one of my top 5 passions as well. But I did see both legs of Slayer's farewell tour, which first time I saw them with Lamb of God, Testament, Napalm Death, and Anthrax. Second time I saw them with Cannibal Corpse, who for years I said was my favorite band, but then when I saw Iron Maiden, then my brother got me the 12 CD box set, and I was just like, you know what? They probably are my favorite band. It was Cannibal Corpse, Amon Amarth, Lamb of God. I thought there was one more, in Slayer. Those shows were awesome too, but I gotta say Iron Maiden. If you could spend a day with one a metal musician, who would it be? Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden, of course. Is core metal? It's not true metal. I would say it's a form or a subgenre at most. Example, like I am not a fan of a metalcore at all. I don't like the cleans. I don't like the two-steppy riffs. I don't like any bands. Deathcore, I can say I like. Not every band. The heavier deathcore bands like old Whitechapel, old Suicide Silence, Rose Funeral, Oceano, Carnifex, which Rose Funeral, Carnifex kind of went through a period of death metal as well. You know, I do like those bands. I think, I guess even like Infant Annihilator is considered deathcore. I like Infant Annihilator. Arcania or Acrania, I guess that's considered deathcore. I like them too. I like heavier deathcore or brutal deathcore. Favorite metal band? I have to say Iron Maiden. Favorite non-metal band? Same with horror metal. I say The Doors. Because for years before metal, when I listened to just classic rock, The Doors was my favorite band. They're still one of my favorite bands. I mean, I've been getting back into poetry lately, and I have the 3 Jim Morrison poetry books. Jim Morrison was my idol for years. I was obsessed with the guy. Loved their lyrics, loved their sound. But I still love Pink Floyd, Zeppelin, love The Who. I don't like Southern rock, but I can listen to Creedence all day. Johnny Cash is another favorite singer of mine. I even love Roy Orbison and Frank Sinatra. How many metal shirts do you have? Well, when I had classic rock shirts, I had like close to 30 by the time I actually really got into metal as like my favorite genre. I got rid of just about all of them. I think I have probably between, at one point, I had between 15 and 20 metal shirts. When I worked at fast food, I used to have to tuck my shirt in, and I didn't like the feeling of the shirts, so I would wear a regular t-shirt underneath it. And having it tucked in and doing a lot with my arms, the armpits kind of ripped out, or trying to pull them off when I'm sweaty, this part ripped. A lot of them I can't wear anymore, which suck. And I've been getting a lot of newer horror shirts, which this is one of my newer ones. Nosferatu, because that's my favorite image of all horror cinema. Now, I think I have around a dozen that I can still wear. Is your significant other a metalhead? Not really. She likes heavier bands. Like, her favorite band is Tool. I know that doesn't count, but I mean, she can listen to Disturbed or Slipknot. I know that doesn't really count. She likes heavier bands, but not... She likes Bruce Dickinson's voice and Dio's voice. Not like death metal. She's not really into that. If you could bring back one dead metal musician, who would it be? Again, same as horror metal. Gotta say Ronnie James Dio. The guy's the pinnacle of metal. He's in my top 3 favorite singers of all time. I've never been a big fan of solo Ozzy. Sabbath is one of my favorite bands of all time too. I prefer Ozzy Sabbath, but I like solo Dio more than Ozzy. I even like Sabbath Dio more than Ozzy. His voice, just who he was as a person, his, persona as the metal god that he is. Ronnie James Dio. Love the guy. May he rest in peace. I'm also not going to tag anybody, so if you want to do this tag, go ahead and do it. But, yeah. I hope you like my answers. Feel free to give your opinion on my answers. But anyway, thank you for watching.